Hi. So continue with this book study of this book here, Bill Clinton's My Life. And this time I did not read as much, but a good thing is that in results I'll be able to explain those chapters I read in bite size. So I'll start right now. So last time we left off at he won the election, and then this time, so after the election, he went to a few events, but because he lost his voice, he put a big sign on his shirt saying, "Sorry, I can't talk." And you did a good job. So basically, these things on his shirt. Um, and then he got to work immediately. Here's what Bill Clinton quotes here. In December, I got down to business that people hire presidents to do, which is making decisions. And he starts working on what he wants to work on by begin with economy. He start with forming the economic team, and people address a few things, which is tax budget functions, commerce, export import, labor, and small businesses. So these are the few things that they bring up for now. And then he hosted an economic summit when he announced every all American wants to attend, and when the conference is opened, the atmosphere is electric, almost as if it were a rock concert for policymakers. And the media call it Wonk Fest. And it is a success because it is very well prepared. And afterwards, there was another quote that stood out to me. It is, "I want the country to be more united, not more divided." So that's what he's been working on. And that's his style. And then there were some problems before his term. The problem is that because the government before wants to spend more and tax less, that there's a huge deficit. Then they use import to finance the overspending, which caused drop in values of dollars, and then it caused higher interest rate and it leads to a sluggish economy. So I'm always confused about what's like happens to raising interest rate. So I did a study, and it is that when you borrow $100, the bank would charge you, for example, 20% interest rate. That means you have to give the bank back $120 for the $100 you borrowed. So that's the example. And then people borrow money from the bank to mortgage their house, to finance their car, and to borrow for credit card spending. And the company and business borrow to hire people, to borrow for their operations, and their supply spending. So everybody borrows money. If interest rate is really high, your mortgage interest will be really high and people don't want to buy a house anymore. The finance for your car is the interest rates really high. And then the businesses, because hiring people and financing for their business is very expensive, that they have to raise the cost for the product they sell. So that's why higher interest rate will cause the sluggishness of finance because people won't want to spend, and the companies their products and services will have a higher cost. But on the other hand, if the inflation is really high, the government will want to raise interest rate so that nobody will spend, and it forced restaurants and stores to not raise the price of their product and services because people don't spend that much and they want people to spend, so they lower their costs. So sometimes the government do raise interest rate to slow down inflation, but overall raised interest rate will make the economy more sluggish. So in order to boost the economy, he suggests to cut tax for working families earning below $30,000 a year by doubling the earning income tax credit. He also suggests to make lower income jobs more attractive than public assistance. And he also suggests to raise tax for coal, oil, and natural gas, which would fall on all sectors of economy, lessening the burden of ordinary consumers and promote energy conservation. But the first one he suggested, which is to cut tax for working class with earnings below $30,000 a year, in the end he decided not to use that one because he feel they after discussion they feel that the economy rise will benefit the middle class more than the tax cut. And he was criticized for not doing middle class the income tax cut, but he did not do the tax cut for the benefit of middle class. But it appears to be that he is not doing the tax cut. So he did keep his promise in his decision, but it appears to be that he did not. We have to do a lot of on-the-job learning, which his team have to do that too, which it might be for every president. Um, and then there is another highlight in the event that he went to, which is the Howard University ceremony honoring Dr. King. And they call it the Faces of Hope, including the ceremony, including the following people. I will post them by batches because there's just like 20 of these peoples. I will list them all one like batches in batches. So two former members of rival gangs in LA who joined forces to give kids a better future. Two Vietnam veterans who sent him their medals. A school principal who have created violence-free magnet schools in a high-crime neighborhood with students regularly score above state. So I guess they say like a violence-free magnet school. Maybe it's like they magnetically attracts a violent-free situation in their school, so there's no violence. Maybe that's what it meant. I'm guessing. Okay, continue. A Texas judge who created an innovative program for troubled kids. A young boy made him more aware of family pressure caused by extra hours his father worked. And then a Native American doctor who worked to improve mental health services for her people. Men who had lost their jobs to low-wage foreign competitions. So to make him more aware that low-wage foreign competitions would make them lose their job. People who struggle with a costly health problem the government didn't help with. A young entrepreneur scrapping for venture capital. People who ran community centers for broken families. A policeman's widow whose who's killed by a mental health patient that carried a gun without background check. An 18-year-old finance wizard working on Wall Street. So he's working on Wall Street when he's only 18 years old. A woman started a large recycling program at her plant. So all of these people from all walks of life are have demonstrated the pain and promises of America in 1992. So that's why they all attended, these people. That's very, very different. And he also invited a HIV infected kid to inauguration. The kid was very happy, but didn't make it before the inauguration even happened. And he also visited the John Robert Kennedy Cemetery because he really respected the president and the present nominee or something. Yeah. And then he also hosted lunch for governors, thanking them, then bring them to a gala concert to enjoy celebrities and music. Then it is the inauguration ceremony. Over the inauguration ceremony, Clinton expressed his view towards the world in his speech, which says, "There's no longer a clear division between what is foreign and what is domestic. The world economy, the world environment, the world AIDS crisis, they affect us all. And that the government alone could not create the nation they wanted. They too, which is the people too must play their parts in renewal. There's much to be done." So it was the third shortest inauguration speech in history. Afterwards, they moved to their new home, which is the White House, and the chapter ends with a quote from Rebecca Buffum Taylor's book, which it says, "A shift in political values takes time." Yeah, and then the chapter ended. So that marks the beginning of Bill Clinton's presidency. This video is just about the beginning, the very beginning, like before he moved into the White House. So that's all for this review. Hope you guys enjoy what I shared.